This is the solution for the 72 SM. The 72 SM consists of 7 bands, has 2 top crossing bands, and then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outside bands. I'll now take the ring apart so you can see what the bands look like when they're separated from each other. It's really quite easy to identify which bands are which because you're going to have 2 bands that are by themselves and then you'll have 5 bands here. So first, the top 2 bands will consist of one smooth band. When you run your finger across here, it's all smooth. And then one dimpled band. When you run your finger across here, you're going to feel this dimple right in the middle. Now we'll identify the 7 outside bands. So this is pretty easy. You've just got to make sure you've got them sort of matched up to each other because you've got 2 sets. So all I'm doing is I'm taking them and I'm putting them face up. So what I have here is I have 2 that are going in one direction and then 3 that are going in the opposite direction. Now for this step, you want to make sure they're not pointing towards each other, but pointing away from each other. So I'm going to take them, those 2, and turn them all the way around, and then set them up with these 3. The other thing you have to make sure is that you go from smallest to biggest. So you can see here it goes small, big, and then the biggest, and then here it's the smaller and then the bigger one. If you get them out of order, you won't be able to solve them. So you've got to make sure you've got it in this position. The other way I like to describe it, although it's not as detailed in this particular ring, is it's a shape of a diamond. So now what I want to do is I want to drop all 5 of these bands in the same direction. If I drop them in opposite directions, they're not going to be in the correct position for the next step. So I just kind of group them together, hold on to the top 2 bands, and let these fall down. I always work with the rings face down because gravity is going to hold them in the position that I need them in. So what I like to do is I like to take the smooth band and hold it in my left hand. It pretty much stays stationary. I don't do anything with this one. The band that does the work is the dimpled band, and again I run my finger across, I can feel that dimple. So face down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trap those 5 bands. You can see I'm holding them. I'm going to turn the dimpled band clockwise, and it's going to sit right inside of that smooth band. So what happens is it makes a really nice clean figure 8. Both circles are the same size. What can happen is you can get confused and you can have the dimpled band on the wrong side. So if you try to twist it, you can make a figure 8, but 1, the bands don't fit together, and 2, the figure 8 is one side is smaller than the other side. So I know this isn't right, and the puzzle won't be able to be solved. So I'm going to take this dimpled band, turn it all the way around, and kind of trap it. What I'm doing here is I'm kind of jiggling it because I want all of these 5 bands, I want them to be face down. So I'm just kind of jiggling it a little bit to kind of put them in the position that I need them to be in. So again, I'm going to take this dimpled band, kind of lift up those 5 bands, clockwise turn, and rest into this smooth band. Again, I'm going to have to just kind of jiggle it a little bit. Now why it's important to have them all facing down is because if they're not, it's going to make it hard and this figure 8's not going to fit nice together. They're kind of going to get twisted into each other. So there we go. I felt it kind of click, and you can see it fits real smooth. See? So now for the next step you need to identify the outermost band. And the easiest way to do that is that you've got 3 bands on one side and then you've got 2 bands on the other. So you know that this 3rd band is the outermost band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, make sure it's real loose, you want it on top of the other bands, turn it into the figure 8. You kind of got to just jiggle it a little bit, and then you got to bend it down, kind of like almost like closing a door. It's like a hinge on a door. You just kind of close it. Then I'm going to take the whole ring, I'm going to turn it completely around because I want to do the opposite side. So I take the outermost band, again, make sure it's real loose, turn it into the figure 8, and like a hinge on a door, just kind of close the door. Again, take the whole ring, turn it around, make sure that ring is real loose, into the figure 8, fold it down, turn the whole ring around, get that loose band, make sure it's real loose, into the figure 8, fold it down, and again finally the last band. Take it, turn it into the figure 8, and fold it down. So there you have the solution for the 72 SM.